Welcome back to the channel, coin collectors and treasure hunters. If you've ever emptied your pockets or checked under your couch cushions and found a penny, you might want to think twice before tossing it in a jar, because today we're diving deep into the fascinating world of the 2014 Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny coin and why some of these seemingly ordinary coins are worth a lot more than just a single cent. That's right, not all 2014 Lincoln pennies are created equal, while the majority are still circulating with a face value of 1 cent. There are a few key factors that can turn this humble copper-plated zinc coin into a small fortune, so stick around because we're going to cover everything from the history of the Lincoln penny to what makes the 2014 edition unique and how to identify valuable versions that could be hiding in your change right now. Let's start with a bit of background. The Lincoln cent has been in production since 1909, making it the longest-running coin design in United States history. It was first issued to commemorate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln, who served from 1861 to 1865 and was the first president to appear on a regular issue U.S. coin. The original design featured the famous profile of Lincoln on the obverse or front side of the coin, which was created by sculptor Victor David Brenner. Over the years, the reverse of the coin has changed several times, from the wheat ears design between 1909 and 1958 to the Lincoln Memorial design used from 1959 to 2008 and 2009 to celebrate Lincoln's 200th birthday and the 100th anniversary of the penny. 4 different reverse designs were minted representing different stages of his life, and finally, starting in 2010, the current reverse design known as the Union Shield was introduced, which is what you'll find on the 2014 penny. So what makes the 2014 Lincoln penny special and potentially valuable? Let's break it down. First, we need to understand the composition. Like other modern pennies minted after 1982, the 2014 Lincoln cent is made primarily of zinc with only a thin copper plating. This means its melt value is far less than 1 cent, which is why it's illegal to melt them down. However, despite the low metal value, some coins are worth far more due to rarity, condition, and mint errors. Now here's where things get interesting. The 2014 Lincoln penny was minted at 3 different locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Coins from Philadelphia have no mint mark, while Denver pennies carry a small D, and those from San Francisco have an S mark. Coins with the S mint mark are proof coins, not intended for circulation but rather sold to collectors in special sets. Proof coins are struck with specially prepared dies, giving them a mirror-like finish and sharper details, making them more desirable to collectors in circulated condition. Most 2014 pennies are only worth face value, but there are some exceptions that can fetch significant premiums. Let's talk about those now. One of the most important things to look for is mint errors. These are mistakes made during the coin's production that can make a coin rare and highly collectible. Some of the most valuable 2014 Lincoln penny errors include double die obverse, also known as DDO, where parts of the design, especially the date or lettering, appear to be doubled. This can often be seen in the words "I in God we trust" or "Liberty," and can dramatically increase the coin's value. Another rare error to watch for is off-center strikes. This happens when the coin blank isn't properly aligned with the die, resulting in part of the design being cut off. Depending on how far off-center the strike is, the value can range from a few dollars to several hundred. You should also be on the lookout for coins with die cracks, cuts, or die clashes. These are small defects caused by wear or damage to the dies themselves, leading to unusual marks or raised lines on the coin surface. While they may seem like flaws, these can actually make the coin unique and more appealing to error collectors. And don't forget about transitional errors. Although rare, some coins may accidentally be struck on planchets intended for other denominations or years. For example, a 2014 penny struck on a copper blank instead of a copper-plated zinc one would be extremely valuable due to the composition difference. Always check the weight. A standard 2014 penny should weigh about 2.5 grams. If it weighs significantly more or less, that could be a sign you have something rare on your hands. As of 2025, the value of a standard 2014 Lincoln penny in circulated condition remains at about 1 cent. However, uncirculated coins, especially those graded MS67 or higher by third-party grading companies like PCGS or NGC, can be worth significantly more. In fact, some MS67 examples have sold for $15 to $30, while high-grade proof coins from San Francisco can go for even more. But the real jackpot is in the rare error coins. Some documented error coins from 2014 have sold for over $100, and in exceptional cases several hundred or even over $1,000, depending on rarity and demand. So how can you tell if your 2014 penny is valuable? Here are a few tips. First, always check the mint mark. Look for S-proof coins or unusual variations in the D or P version. Second, examine the coin under magnification to identify doubling errors, die cracks, or off-center strikes. Third, weigh the coin using a digital scale to check for incorrect planchets. Fourth, consider submitting it to a Coin grading service. If you believe you found something rare, certification adds credibility and can increase the resale value. And finally, keep your coins in protective holders to avoid damage from handling where the environment is. Condition is key to maintaining and increasing value. To wrap it up, the 2014 Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny may not seem special at first glance, but with the right combination of rarity, error, and condition, it could be worth far more than its face value. If you've got a jar of spare change lying around, now might be the perfect time to take a closer look. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe and hit that bell so you never miss an update on coin collecting values and hidden treasures. Let us know in the comments if you've ever found a rare penny in your collection, or if you have questions about other years we should cover next. Today we are diving deep into a small but potentially very valuable piece of American history, the 1981 Lincoln penny. This is a coin you may have in your pocket right now or tucked away in an old drawer, but what if I told you that some of these 1981 pennies are worth far more than just 1 cent? In fact, depending on a few key details, they could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. So stick with me as we explore the history, the value, and how you can tell if your 1981 Abraham Lincoln penny is actually a rare collectible hiding in plain sight. Let us begin with a little background. The Lincoln cent has been in circulation since 1909, replacing the Indian head penny. It was introduced to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln and was the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure. In 1959, the reverse of the coin was changed from wheat ears to the Lincoln Memorial, and that design continued all the way through the end of 2008. Now focusing on the year 1981 specifically. This was the final full year that the U.S. Mint produced Lincoln cents using 95% copper and 5% zinc. These coins weigh about 3.11 grams and they have a reddish-brown appearance when freshly minted. That composition would change the following year in 1982 when the U.S. Mint transitioned to a cheaper copper-plate zinc version weighing only 2.5 grams due to rising copper prices. So why does the 1981 penny matter so much, and what makes it potentially valuable? Well, there are several reasons. First, there were three main types of 1981 Lincoln cents struck, and they come from different mints. There is the 1981 Philadelphia no mint mark, the 1981 D for Denver, and the 1981 S-proof penny struck in San Francisco. Here is where things start to get interesting. The regular circulation pennies from Philadelphia and Denver are common with billions minted, but condition is key. A 1981 penny in poor shape is worth just face value. However, if you have a 1981 penny in uncirculated or mint state condition, especially MS65 and above, then the value starts to climb. For example, as of today, an MS67 red 1981 D penny sold at auction for around $110. That is a huge return on a coin that originally cost just 1 cent. The Philadelphia version in similar condition can also reach values of $40 to $60 or more, but the real stars of the 1981 penny world are the proof coins, and more importantly the Type 1 and Type 2 varieties. So let us talk about those. In 1981, the San Francisco Mint produced two different types of proof pennies. Type 1 has a filled or blurry S-mint mark, while Type 2 features a much clearer and sharper S-mint mark. The Type 2 version is far more scarce and collectible. A proof 1981 S Type 2 penny in perfect condition, graded PR70 deep cameo, can sell for over $1,500 or more at auction. So how do you tell if your 1981 penny is special? Step 1. Check for the mint mark. Look under the date on the coin. If there is no mint mark, it is from Philadelphia. If it has a D, it is from Denver, and if it has an S, it is a proof coin from San Francisco. Step 2. Examine the condition. If it is scratched, worn, or damaged, it likely holds little to no premium, but if it looks fresh, shiny, and uncirculated, you may have something valuable. Step 3. Weigh it. A genuine 1981 copper penny should weigh around 3.11 grams. If it weighs closer to 2.5 grams, it might be a transitional error from 1982, and that could also be worth a premium. Step 4. If you have an S-mint proof coin, inspect the mint mark with a magnifier to determine if it is the clearer Type 2 variety. And finally, Step 5. Consider getting your coin graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. If you suspect it may be high grade or a rare variety, grading adds legitimacy and can dramatically increase its market value. Now let us talk about the current market as of 2025. Right now, collectors are paying more attention to older copper pennies due to rising metal prices and their disappearing presence in circulation. With the copper melt value nearing 3 cents per penny, collectors and hoarders alike are stocking up. High-grade examples of 1981 Lincoln cents are consistently selling on online auction sites and coin shows for $50 to $200 depending on quality. Proof Type 2s are especially hot, with some topping the $1,000 mark. So what is the bottom line? If you find a 1981 Lincoln penny, do not throw it away. Check the mint mark, check the condition, and check for rarity. You might be holding on to a tiny treasure worth far more than you think. Before you go, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell icon so you do not miss more content just like this. We are on a mission to uncover the hidden value in everyday coins and bills, and you never know what you might find next. Today we're diving deep into one of the most familiar coins in American history, the 1980 Lincoln 1-cent penny coin. This coin might be something you've walked by 1,000 times or tossed into a jar without a second thought, but let me tell you this. Not all 1980 pennies are created equal. In fact, some are worth way more than just 1 cent and could even fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on a few rare factors. So sit tight and stick around because we're going to break down the full history of the 1980 penny, what to look for in rare and valuable versions, and what the current market says about its worth today. Let's start with a bit of history. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the Lincoln penny was the first regular issue American coin to feature a real person rather than a symbolic figure. It was also the first coin to bear the motto "In God We Trust" on the obverse or front side. Now fast forward to 1980 and the Lincoln cent had been in continuous production for over 70 years. By this time the reverse or back side of the coin still featured the Lincoln Memorial design, which had been introduced in 1959 marking Lincoln's 150th birthday. It replaced the earlier wheat ears design and became a staple of U.S. coinage until 2008. So what makes the 1980 penny special, and why are collectors paying a premium for some of them? First, let's talk about the composition. From 1909 to 1982, most Lincoln cents were made primarily of copper, specifically 95% copper and 5% zinc. However, in 1982 the U.S. Mint switched to a primarily zinc composition with a thin copper plating due to the rising cost of copper. That means the 1980 penny is still a solid copper coin, and that alone gives it a base value above face value because of its metal content. In fact, as of today, the melt value of a 1980 copper penny is more than 2 cents just based on the price of copper. But that's just the beginning. Now let's talk about errors and varieties. If you've got a 1980 penny sitting around, here are some things to look for that can increase its value dramatically. First is the double die obverse, which means the design on the front of the coin, including the date and the lettering, appears to be doubled. This kind of error happens during the minting process and it can make a huge difference in value. A strong doubled die on the 1980 penny could bring in anywhere from $50 to over $300 depending on condition and visibility of the doubling. Next is the off-center strike error. If the coin was not struck properly and appears to be off-center, collectors will pay extra for these, especially if the date is still fully visible. A 1980 Lincoln cent that is off-center by about 50% or more can sell for up to $200. Another thing to look for is the broad strike or clipped planchet error. These are rarer but also desirable. A broad strike happens when the coin is struck without the retaining collar, resulting in a coin that is wider and flatter than normal. A clipped planchet is when a piece of the metal blank is missing from the coin. These can range from $20 to $150 depending on severity and eye appeal. Now let's move on to mint marks. In 1980 the U.S. Mint produced pennies in 3 different locations: Philadelphia, which struck pennies with no mint mark; Denver, which used the D mint mark; San Francisco, which struck proof coins with the S mint mark. Most 1980 pennies will have either no mint mark or a D. For Denver, the S mint mark proof coins were not intended for general circulation and were made in much smaller quantities. If you happen to find a 1980 S proof penny in circulation, it's a rare find and could be worth between $2 and $10 or more depending on condition and if it is still in its original proof set. Now how about the current market value of the 1980 Lincoln cent in average circulated condition? A regular 1980 penny with no errors is worth about 2 to 3 cents because of its copper content, but in uncirculated condition, meaning it has no wear from being used, it could be worth 10 to 25 cents or more. Just to collectors looking for high-grade examples, if you find one that's been graded by a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC and it scores a high mint state grade such as MS65 or MS67, it could sell for $10 to $50 or more depending on demand. Now here's where it gets exciting: rare high-grade coins with special errors can fetch big money. A 1980 penny with a dramatic double die and in mint state condition can easily reach over $300 in an auction. A rare off-center strike in pristine condition might go for $150 to $250, and an exceptionally clean flawless 1980 D penny graded MS68 red once sold for over $1,000. So what should you do if you think you have a valuable 1980 penny? First, don't clean it. Cleaning a coin can drastically lower its value even if it looks shinier. Next, use a magnifying glass and look closely at the date, the letters, and Lincoln's features. Check for any doubling or striking errors. And finally, if you think you have something rare, consider getting it graded by a professional coin grading service. That's the best way to authenticate the error and condition and maximize its resale value. To wrap it all up, the 1980 Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny might seem like just another copper coin, but hidden among the millions are rare gems worth real money. Whether it's Due to a rare minting error or an uncirculated high-grade condition, this little coin is a perfect example of how everyday pocket change can surprise you. So next time you're sorting through your coin jar or getting change from the store, keep an eye out for that 1980 penny. It might just be your ticket to a small fortune. If you found this video helpful or interesting, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel and ring the bell so you don't miss any of our future coin collecting tips and rare coin updates. Thanks for watching and happy coin hunting. Today we're diving deep into the fascinating world of US coins and focusing on one that has stunned collectors and shocked auction houses, the 1969 Lincoln penny. Yes, just a humble 1-cent coin featuring the iconic image of Abraham Lincoln can actually be worth thousands of dollars if you know what to look for. So grab your magnifying glass because this is going to be a ride through numismatic gold. Section 1. The origin story. Let's start at the beginning. The Lincoln cent first made its debut in 1909 to celebrate the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure, replacing the Indian head penny designed by James Longacre. The original design was crafted by Victor David Brenner and features Lincoln on the obverse or front side of the coin. Fast forward to 1969, the U.S. Mint was still using the same iconic design with some minor modifications since 1959, when the reverse design changed from the wheat stalks to the Lincoln Memorial. This means that on the reverse side of the 1969 penny you'll find the Lincoln Memorial right in the center, and if you look closely you can even see a tiny statue of Lincoln sitting inside the monument. That level of detail is impressive for such a small coin. Section 2. What makes the 1969 penny special? Now here's where things get really interesting. Most 1969 Lincoln pennies are worth only their face value, or perhaps a few cents to a few dollars in uncirculated condition, but there's one particular variety that changed the game, the 1969's double die obverse. That's right, this version has a dramatic doubling effect on the front of the coin, and it's not just a small error, it's a huge noticeable one. You can see it in the words Liberty, Indiana, God We Trust, and the date 1969. This doubling occurred during the minting process when the coin die struck the coin twice slightly off alignment, creating that unmistakable duplicate look. These kinds of errors are extremely rare, and when collectors find them they go crazy for them. Section 3. How to identify a valuable 1969 PNNY. So how do you know if your 1969 penny is worth thousands? First, flip the coin and look for an S mint mark right under the date. That means it was minted in San Francisco. Then take a close look at the lettering and IN God We Trust and Liberty. If you see doubling, you could have struck gold, metaphorically of course, because it's still made of copper. You don't even need a microscope to see the doubling. On some examples it's bold and clear to the naked eye, and because this coin was so heavily counterfeited over the years, many examples must be certified by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC to confirm authenticity. Section 4. Past auction prices that shocked the world. Let's talk numbers. In 2008, a verified 1969's double die obverse penny sold at auction for over $126,000. That's right, a single 1-cent coin went for six figures. Other examples in top condition have sold for between $50,000 and $90,000. Depending on grade and eye appeal, even lower grade verified coins can fetch several thousand. On the flip side, regular 1969 pennies without errors are still collected and in uncirculated condition may be worth around 5 to 20 cents and sometimes a few dollars if they are in mint state condition from a coin roll or mint set. Section 5. Metal content and changes over time. Another interesting fact is the metal composition. The 1969 penny is made of 95% copper and 5% zinc, which makes it heavier and more solid than the post-1982 pennies that are mostly zinc. If copper prices go up significantly, even a regular 1969 penny could be worth more than 1 cent just for the metal alone, although melting coins is illegal in the US, so don't try it. Section 6. Tips for collectors and beginners. If you want to search for the 1969's double die, start by hunting through old penny jars, coin rolls from the bank, or visiting estate sales and garage sales where old coins may be hiding. Look for coins in good condition and always check the date and mint mark. If you think you have a valuable one, send it to be graded and authenticated, because that's the only way to know for sure. Also keep an eye out for fake coins, as there have been many counterfeits flooding the market, especially ones that mimic the doubling or add a fake S mint mark. Always buy from reputable dealers and verify with grading reports. Section 7. Current market value. In 2025, as of this year 2025, the value of a 1969's double die penny in high mint state condition remains extremely strong. Coins graded MS64 to MS66 red can fetch between $50,000 and $100,000 depending on the market. Lower grades certified as genuine still sell for between $10,000 and $30,000. Regular 1969 pennies with no doubling remain at around face value up to $1 or $2 if they are uncirculated OUTRO. So there you have it, folks. The 1969 Lincoln penny is more than just small change, it's a fascinating piece of American history, and in rare cases a life-changing discovery. If you've got old pennies lying around, now's the time to dig them out and start searching. Who knows, your 1 cent coin could be hiding a $100,000 surprise. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more amazing coin videos. If you've ever found a rare coin, let us know in the comments below, and as always, happy collecting.